Hey, it's Andy Mckee here, and I'm at Guitar World. Gonna play you a bit of my tune Rylynn, and at the end we'll talk about the composition and techniques used for this tune. All right, so that's Rylynn, and you might have noticed something a bit unusual here. This is a Banjo Capo, in fact, from Shub Banjo Capo, and so I'm covering 4 strings with the Banjo Capo on the 5th fret. And then I'm also, of course, in an unusual tuning. This is on the baritone as well. So normally I play this on a standard pitch guitar, and the tuning is E, C, D, G, A, D. So that C on the 5th string is quite dangerous. You got to go up a step and a half. So I kind of just stumbled upon this tuning when I think I was tuning my guitar up to play a tune called Aerial Boundaries from Michael Hedges. And I was almost into his tuning, but I still had the E on the bass, and I loved the sound of it. So I decided to leave it there, and I've written a few tunes with this tuning. And Rylynn, I decided to try a Banjo Capo on the 5th fret just to see what would happen, and loved the sound of the tuning just like that. So that's the tuning in the capo. And then most of Rylynn doesn't have too many weird technique things going on. It has that sort of percussive slap again in this tune to get that click sound. It's more of, as you heard, it's more of like a melodic tune. It doesn't really have too many crazy techniques, just trying to sort of tell a story with this tune a bit. It's a tune that I dedicated to a friend when his daughter had passed away. Her name was Rylynn, so that's kind of the inspiration for the tune. It starts out with this. Down there on the 2nd fret. So it looks like you're going behind the capo, but you're playing on the 2nd string, which doesn't have the capo covering it. So, okay, so. And that's kind of the verse part, I guess you could say. And then it kind of repeats those sections. There's one little interesting lick in here that I wanted to show you. And this was, I should probably say, inspired by the playing of Eric Johnson. He's the guy that made me want to play guitar. And I just fell in love with his melodic playing, on the electric. And so there's a little, I think that sounds very Eric Johnson-y. So anyway, I threw that in on the 2nd time through on the verse. Back into all the other stuff again. The middle part of this tune, there's some slap harmonic stuff. Oh, sorry. Like that. And then there's kind of this up strum that's kind of dragging your thumb across the strings here. The slap like that. Back again through that stuff. And then there's a verse comes through again in the chorus part. And then the ending. This is really kind of an unusual part to the tune. So let me explain what happens there. I'm doing harmonics with my thumb, plucking the string and then fretting the harmonic with the index finger. And that's here on the 12th fret, but it's kind of like a 7th fret node, harmonic node because of the capo. And it's just going across like that. 6, 5, 4, 6, 5, 4, kind of a Latin rhythm like that. Doom da da doom da da doom da da doom da da. And then it just moves over to the 5th, 4th, and 3rd strings. Doom, da, da, doom, da, da, doom, da, da, doom, da, da. Yeah. And that's all you're going to do on the right hand. And the first part, the left hand, is just kind of hinting at these little melodic ideas. Just hammering on 9 and 10 here. Seven and 8. Back again. And then the actual melody. Repeats that. And fade out as you go. And that's the end of the tune. All right, so hope that gave you some clarity on what's going on with Rylynn. And it's been a pleasure to be here today with you. I've got social media stuff if you want to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. I don't think I have a MySpace anymore, so don't worry about that. But got AndyMckee.com if you want to see where I'm touring. I'm on the road all the time, so I'd love to see you at a gig sometime. And maybe one last thing, if you're really interested in this kind of playing, I've got a music camp that I do. It's called Andy Mckee's Musicarium. So if you want to check that out, AndyMckee'smusicarium.com. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.